As a commission, we get the responsibility for address issues of accountability and transparency in public sector institutions. And so, in partnership with Parliament, we've done the work on the audit report of 2020. And in that respect, we even been called a press conference. In that press conference, the commissioner been stated clearly the issues with the way we don't analyze in the report and the actions that we will take. So, in effect, arising from that press conference, the ACC bidon now start or commence investigations into the issues where if you say if we conduct investigations in.
Okay. Now, during the term, get engagements with the media, the commissioner say anybody will get issue inside the audit report go sleep. Na ACC Christmas Day. So from that time to now, any arrests don't make or anybody don't start for pay people way their name or get issues with the Auditor General's report?
Yes, I will confirm that the Anti-Corruption Commission don't invite people to ACC in regard the audit report, and then also we don't arrest people, we detain them, we don't admit them to bail, and we don't even send notices. The investigative process is on. People don't come, we don't record statements, and the process is ongoing. I want to tell the public or listeners that yes, that will happen, and it commenced way before the Xmas holiday, just as how the commissioner been promised the people of this country.
All right. So presently, almost people are not investigate.
Well, honestly, I'm not able to place numbers in terms of how many people, but firstly, we don't state the issues. And as we speak, we get over 2,000, if you like, institutions first where we look at across the board, those highlighted. But we can't be speaking about individuals now. And even for the purposes of the investigation, keeping its integrity, we not even get for name, if you like, individuals. Institutions, they are mentioned in the audit report. So that one is public knowledge. But we want to let the public know, say, in the course of an investigation or in an investigative process, because you want to really make sure that your investigation tight, you know, go at this very initial stage, start from name individuals. Okay.
The people who arrest and later give bail, under which condition give them bail there?
When you don't investigate, and whatever information you get before you when you look into as an allegation, and waiting at the point at or whether at the point at you get for bring them in. And if you, for instance, they treat the person as a subject of investigation, as a suspect, that particular individual, you get for admit and to bail because at any point you need them, you will want for let it come in. And at that condition, they put on bail. We are also, as I say, talking to other people by way of witnesses. We don't serve notices out, and that is the process. And we are doing this at such a pace that we quite believe we will continue to update the public as to which side we will get at the end of the day.
All right. For the benefit of the public, not to, all man maybe go get access for read the Auditor General's report. So which institution then basically just feel we want to look at?
We get issues around the National Revenue Authority, NRA. We also look at issues in the Petroleum Directorate. We get also for do with EDSA. We get Ministry of Youth Affairs. You get Ministry of Social Welfare. You get the Sierra Leone Free Education Project. You get the PPRC. You get SALCAB. You get MBSSC with the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. You get the Cambria District Council. You get the MMA. You get Seratel across the board, and the list goes on. But as I say, this is not in the order of, if you like, the seriousness. And the issues being looked at, raised in the audit report, the run around, failure to pay withholding tax, also failure to pay as you are deducted from salaries, and some get for do with alleged procurement breaches. So all these are the issues we look at. And as a matter of fact, the investigative process also now gets to determine as to exactly what was stated is what is in it.
We understand, say some people we don't start for the pay. How to about that?
Yes, I will confirm that in regard with interventions into the 2020 audit report, people they don't pay money to the ACC.
What are the people there?
Well, as I say, we still at the moment number one for name them because the investigation ongoing and we could need for get more people associated with the investigation for letting support or cooperate with we in the course of the investigation. If we start now for that, I think it will jeopardize the very essence and the integrity of the investigations.
All right, so now go make the public know after the investigation, the people we don't begin pay.
Oh, certainly, Besides those who don't begin paying, the investigation is still ongoing in some of these issues, so we know can come public for name people. Now, for the fear of others who may be connected to the investigation, let them not flee. That is the reason why I don't state inter alia that in the course of the investigation, we want to keep the integrity and the sanctity of it. You don't begin to name people, otherwise you are risking or jeopardizing the investigation with the conduct. And you need a lot more before you get to the end. So if you start that at the very initial stage, you are in trouble. So we don't do it that way. So equally so, even at the stage we don't complain, I want to assure you, definitely when we are going public, we'll let the people know, because at that time, we don't have anything more to keep secret. The investigation has been completed, what we want, we don't get them, and now is the time for go out to the public and tell them everything.
Well,
as to waiting the work that we do last year, as you know, last year a difficult year because of the COVID, and that been slow a lot the activities of the Minister of Works and Public Assets, as indeed the other activities in life, you know, the world all over. But despite that, we will still make some progress. Mind you, the President has put a lot of importance in our own sector, because he believes our own sector an enabler, they make the country develop quick. We have to do a comprehensive, a big rehabilitation of State House within facilities there. Also, we largely complete Miata Conference Hall, and of course, the construction of the Bo Magistrate Courts is done substantially complete. Same so the rehabilitation of the Bo Governors Lodge, we will get for transform to the Presidential Lodge Nabo. But something also very interesting last year is that government buy Kona Lodge na King Street, we get for use for the Ministry of Youth Affairs and some of the agencies there. So this is a big development, because that means the government not get for the rent for that particular ministry there, and some of the agencies there where they under that.
Minister, you don't talk about the infrastructural aspect of that. So when we look at Miata Conference Hall, this is one place where we don't host people. So whose time we will see on a complete, and then people begin for use them?
Well, Miata Conference Hall, it don't, as we can say, substantially complete. So largely complete. About 90%. Also not left now then for install the lift there. Then they're on the way now for come, then they are deceased. But also for install CCTV. The chairs then don't come, over 800 chairs then. So this year, no doubt, Miata Conference Hall go down and go ready for use. But again, I want for share with Fambul then, waiting at some of the policy achievement the way we do last year.
Okay, so when we look at them policy achievement and waiting at them.
Well, last year, for example, the Minister of Works and Public Assets is able to get the approval of Cabinet and then later the ratification of Parliament of the Dakar-Abidjan Road Corridor Treaty. This is now a very important treaty where an ECOWAS project for construct 6 lanes, 7 West African countries then. 3 they go, 3 they come. This is very, very important. So as a country, we don't ratify that particular treaty there. But also last year, we ministry succeeded to get the approval of Cabinet for review the Professional Engineering Regulation Council Act. We in a Parliament right now for ratification. We hope certainly this year it will be ratified. And of course, what you also do last year, and then I forget the first draft of the axle load and tolling policy, the quarry policy, now they're ready, and we'll get for take them to Cabinet for...
The would say we will not do for last year.
Okay.
So what's not a would say?
Last year, as I say, despite COVID, we've been able to make some progress. Number one, we complete the Savage Street Bridge last year, where we do in record time, and a quality bridge. But also, we complete the Lincoln Wing University Regent Road, where they're in use, for the past months. And of course, we largely complete the Wellington Mashaka Road, the Bo Bandajuma Road, Bandajuma to Mano River Union Bridge, the Pendembu Kailahun Road, the Muyangba Junction road. That road there, then don't substantially complete and then they in use.
So more look at the township road.
But also we make a lot of progress in township roads. Like, of course, the township roads in Freetown, Waterloo, Bo, Kenema, Bond. A lot of progress they can go on. And this year, they will all be completed.
Whether or not the Minister of Works and Public Assets, Peter Bayiku, contact the talk to Mangem and Sarah instead of interview for seek the work them we then do inside 2021 and the plans them for 2022. We've been Parliament and put this report together.
Forbid the Deputy Minister of Health and Sanitation and Bokari Kaloko forbid Deputy Minister too, that the Ministry of Finance. And then people here, we don't go through Appointments Committee and through Parliaments.
Honorable members, the question is that the sixth report of the fourth session of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendations contained therein be approved. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against, say nay. The ayes have it.
But before member then a Parliament, agree for them people here. Different member of Parliament them been talk about the change where they want for see na the different sector them where they appoint them people here for go work. Honorable Asansi say na the chief whip for the main opposition All People's Congress APC party na Parliament where he be they talk be lay emphasis on the new Deputy Minister too of Finance Bokari Kaloko where almost all the member of Parliament them where debates been get fighting them for talk about this man.
We want to see an improvement in our entire financial system. Mr. Kaloko proved that being in the private sector as acting head of commercial bank showed us that she has what it takes to handle a big corporate entity. That in the private sector, all you go for are profits. In the public sector, when you go there, some decisions are taken for political expedience, not for economic prudence. And to that he said, I'll be able to create the balance between the two and ensure that I deliver as expected. And we hope, as a parliament, what you have been when you were at the Bank of the Commercial Bank, you will be when you go to the Ministry of Finance. That is to say, issues that will affect members of parliament, whenever they come to your desk, treat them with priority. Money and well-body, they matter in this country.
Not so secret say, the well-body sector, na the country still a challenge for make the healthcare service accessible to the public, and this issue not be hide during the debates. Honorable Dr. Kandekole Yumkela, na the leader for the National Grand Coalition Party na Parliament, been talk about the healthcare system, we still a problem na the country.
A lot of challenges within the health sector, major reforms required. But we come back to the major issue of diagnostics. If the doctors cannot get the diagnosis and all the tests on time, they will not be able to deliver service. I hear from doctors that perhaps 20% or more of the mortality we get here is due to wrong diagnosis. And of course, that depends on the reagents for the testing, the instruments that are there for the diagnosis. So we wish you well. There's a lot of reforms to do, challenges with personnel, professionalism within the system, sometimes also demand for cash. When poor people do not have cash, they can't access care. So a lot of issues to look at. We always try to refer the government to the Rwandan case of the insurance scheme, health insurance scheme for the needy, for the very poor. That's something we can look at closely here for ourselves.
Honorable Bashiru Silikie, now the deputy leader of government business, been get this for saying.
The president did no mistake, and we on this side believe the president has never made a mistake in appointing people. That is why when appointees are here, most times we see our colleagues from the other side supporting us. We already have a social contract between ourselves as a government and the people of this republic, and we must deliver on that contract. The president, in his wisdom, has decided to bring you on board to help him deliver on that contract. in the next 1 year, we'll have to face the people and we'll have to read our scorecard to them. So you are going to contribute immensely to that scorecard. We hope you will not disappoint His Excellency, the President. You have been chosen from the ministerial unions to occupy very sensitive offices. And these offices are marked with a lot of challenges. We hope you will not disappoint this Parliament.
Honorable Bashiru Silikie end up say, them as member of Parliament, them go monitor for say them people here where the President don't pick, do the work where the President pick them for do. For Radio Democracy, Princess Piasley reports.